Before we start, apologies for the gap in reviews over the last few months. A lot of things have been going on, which is why there's been no reviews online. But we're back, which is fantastic. Okay, let's start with Thief. Thief is the first stealthy FPS I remember playing on the PC back in the day, and it was rather enjoyable at the time. Skulking around the shadows, bashing guards around the head with your blackjack, or trying to ghost in and out to steal items without anyone knowing you were there was quite a challenge, especially with the AI not being as good back then as it is today. Now the game's back on PC and consoles, and I've been playing the Xbox One version. The lead character and setting hasn't changed, which fans of the original games will be happy to hear. You play as Garrett, a thief with all the charisma of a rock, as you traverse the loading screen blighted streets of Stone Market and enter a number of chapters where your goal is to retrieve an item at the end of the level and then escape before you're run through by the guards. There's also an added supernatural plot here, as your partner in crime Erin falls foul to an incident at the start of the game, which also gives you the ability of focus, which can be switched on and off in order to see objects and hidden panels, enemies, traps, and other things you can interact with, as well as slow down time. It is in limited supply though, and can be topped up with poppies you'll find around the maps or buy. The same goes for food to replace lost energy. So what's it like creeping around the levels here? Well, despite having a number of arrows which can be used to put out flames, set people and things on fire and hit switches, there isn't really as much freedom as I'd like here. I found myself pretty much crouching and sticking to the shadows or rooftops as much as possible, and throwing the occasional object to lure guards away from where I wanted to go. You can get into combat if you're seen and chased, but it's clunky, not very satisfying, and usually leads to death unless you've leveled up your focus combat ability, which means you can take out a guard with one blow to the head. It's best to just run away and hide for a while until they forget all about you. What does work though is the feeling of exploration. Finding hidden panels and switches in bookcases really feels like a discovery, and you'll find plenty of things to pocket and spy holes to look through that make you feel like you're happening on something truly secret. And a little bit naughty at times too. Puzzles also appear in the form of combinations to decipher and find, but sometimes signposting isn't the best it can be, and I have found myself genuinely stuck and wondering what to do next. Maybe games have become too easy nowadays, who knows? And if you're a real sadist, this game can be as tough as you like it to be. In fact, you can modify the game so much in that you can switch off the focus altogether, turn off objective markers, and even play through the whole game with one life, where the risk is going back to the very start of the game if you die. I wouldn't recommend this though, as I found Garrett would swoop unexpectedly many times during the game when I was trying to sneak, when my thumb wasn't anywhere near the A button. It's just one of those lovely unexpected quirks of adding Kinect motion controls to a game of this type, resulting in alerting nearby guards, and an inevitable sword up the backside. Thief's certainly an enjoyable game to play, it's just not that great. If you really want a game that gives you more choice when it comes to sneaking and combat, Dishonored is a better bet. Thief didn't quite steal my heart, so it gets a good 6 out of 10.